In this video, I'm going to show you how we can work with related tables in ArcGIS Pro. And there's several different tools we can use, and they do different things. For this example, I'm going to use data that I obtained from the National Wetlands Inventory. You can see I've just made a small clip of wetlands data for an area called Deep Bottom. And if we open up the attribute table for this layer, we can see it's got a general wetland type, but not a lot of other information about the wetlands, not any really specific information. And then it has a field called attribute that has these codes that are, to me, indecipherable unless I have some kind of a key table. And that key table is actually also provided by NWI in this code definitions table, which I'll open up. So you can see for each code, there's a whole bunch of information, additional information about that particular wetland type. Okay, so if we want information from this table appended to the polygons attribute table, if we want all that information, then we can use simply the add join tool. So the input table is the table that's going to receive information. That's the polygon layer. And the join table is the table that's going to donate information. And that's going to be the code table. So we'll choose the polygon layer here. And here's our join table. And the input field and the join field, those are the fields that we use to establish the relationship. So those are the key fields. They have to have common attributes, and we can see that this attribute field has codes that are probably going to match. So let's try it, and we're using the same one in both cases. Now, they don't necessarily have to have the same name. It depends on the tables. In this case, they do have the same names, which is handy. Before I run the tool, I want to validate the join. I want to make sure that those matches are going to be successful. So I can see that there's 1,822 records that have been matched. The input table has 1,822 records, and all of those have been matched. Now you can see the join table has more records, and you might think that's weird, but it's not, because the code definitions are for the wetland types across the entire United States, but we're only working in a small area, so not all those codes are going to be applicable in this small area. The main thing to look at is that the input table has 1822 records, and all of them have been matched, so we're good to go. And now you can see that all of those attributes from the code definitions table have been appended to the attribute table of the polygon layer. But what you need to understand is that this is only a temporary join. And if we look at the fields view, all of those attributes that come from the other table, they have this prefix, the name of that table that they come from, and they're all grayed out. So that kind of gives you a clue that they are just kind of borrowed fields. They're not actually, you haven't actually modified the underlying feature class of the wetland polygons. You've only temporarily appended these data. If I right-click on this layer and go to Properties, and I go to Joins, I can see that a join has been added. I can also remove that join very easily. I just have to go right-click, Joins and Relates, remove all joins. And now our table looks exactly the way it did before. So it's very easy to just add a join really quickly and then remove it when you don't need it anymore. And it does not alter any data. It doesn't alter any underlying data. It just affects how you visualize the data in a virtual table. Okay, so that's add join. Now I'm going to show you how to use a different tool called add relate. when you use the add relate tool, it creates a relationship between the tables so that if you select records in one, you can automatically get the related records in the other, but it does not append all the data into a single virtual table. So you can't see all the data in one place the same way we did with add join. And in this case, we have to pay attention to the cardinality, and we need a little bit of explanation here. When we are looking at the polygons, each polygon has a single attribute that matches a single record in the code table. So for each polygon, there's only one record that's related in this table. But when you're in the code definition table, each code can actually apply to multiple polygons because there are multiple polygons that are classified in the same way. So if we're going from code table to polygon table, it's a one-to-many relationship. So let's we'll do a one-to-many, and we'll do the codes to the polygons. And again, we're using the same key fields, which are the attribute fields in both tables. And we'll call this relate codes to polygons, just so we know what we're talking about. And I can run it. And then when I run it, you're going to see nothing at first. You see this table has not changed at all. This table has not changed at all. It doesn't look like anything has happened. But if we right click on here and we go to properties and we go down to relates, we can see there's that relate that we called codes to polygons. And so we know that we've created this relationship. However, if you look at the properties of the polygon layer, you do not see any evidence of a relate. So it really only seems to interpret it in one direction. If I were to select a record in the code table, and then I click over here and I go to related data, you can see that I could get related records in Wetlands Deep Bottom polygon layer. But if I go the other way and I select a record, I can go to NWI code definitions. So the relationship is working both directions. It's just that you don't see the evidence over here. So let's try this. I'm going to select, I'm going to zoom into this polygon here. I'm going to manually select it. And here's the polygon. There's the attribute. If I click here and I go related data, if I click on that, it pops me over to the code definition table, and there's that code. And so now I can see all the information about that wetland. Even though it's not in the same table, I can go to the related table and see all the information that I need. And likewise, now that I'm in the code table, I can click on there and I can go get the related data in the polygons. And now you can see I've actually got multiple polygons selected because there are multiple polygons of the same type. So that's pretty cool. So basically, even though I can't see all the information in the same table, I can easily go between the two tables and select the related records very quickly. The only confusing thing is that when I look at the properties of this table, it looks like I don't have any relates, even though we saw that those are both related and the relationship does go back both ways. Now, just like the add join tool, this is just causing a temporary relationship. It does not fundamentally alter the underlying data. And I can easily remove the relate if I just right click on here, joins and relates, remove all relates. Let me go ahead and clear the selection. And now I'm going to talk about two tools that actually do change the underlying data. So we ran the add join tool. It just created a temporary join. It did not change the actual data. When we ran the add relate tool, it caused a temporary relationship that enabled you to select related records, but again, it did not change any underlying data. Now I'm going to talk about what if I just wanted to permanently add one or more of the fields from the code table to the attribute table of the polygons. For that, I would want to use the join field tool. Notice how this says the tool modifies the input table. So we have to be careful with any tool that does this, because now we are actually making data changes. We're not just making a virtual table. We're not just creating a temporary relationship. So again, the input table is the table that receives the data. So that's going to be the polygons. The table that is donating the data is the code table. Again, the key fields to create that relationship are attribute and attribute. And we can select which fields we want to transfer. So let's say, actually, let me look at this table real quickly. Maybe I just want the system name, the subsystem name, and the class name. So I can choose those three fields: system name, subsystem name, and class name. Now, when I run this tool, it's going to append those fields, but it's going to do so permanently. So now you can see in this table, I've added those three fields that I specified. If I look at the fields view, you can see they're not grayed out and they don't have that NWI code definitions prefix. So these fields are really in the table. We have actually changed the data in the data set. And if we look here, there's no join. There's not any kind of temporary join there. It doesn't exist. We've appended those fields permanently, and the only way we could get rid of those fields is to literally delete them out of the table again. So I'm going to do that really quickly. I can just right click, delete, and I'm deleting that field again. Same with this. And now my table is back the way it was originally. The last tool I'm going to show you how to use is how to create a relationship class that's an object that's actually built into the geodatabase. So first things first, let's make sure we don't have any existing relates. Double check, because if you do, it would end up having some squirrely behavior. So we've made sure we don't have any. And then the other thing is, let's look at where these data are stored. They have to be in the same geodatabase. And they are, in fact, in this geodatabase called Deep Bottom. And let's look at that in the catalog. Here's that geodatabase. We are going to create a relationship class that permanently creates a relationship between these two tables. So again, let's look in catalog. You see there's just two objects in that geodatabase. There's the code table, there's the polygons. Let's talk about cardinality again. Remember, for each polygon, there's only one code in the code table. But for each code in the code table, there are multiple polygons of that same type. So it's a one-to-many relationship, and the one being the codes and the many being the polygons. So the origin table has to be the code table. And the destination table has to be the polygon feature class. And let's click here on this little folder. And this gets a little squirrely because this is not the project geodatabase. I'm actually having to navigate all the way back to the downloaded data. And this is my geodatabase. We are going to call this relationship class RC codes to polygons. So you have to be careful where you specify this is going to go. So my project is actually this wetlands project, and that would be the default geodatabase where the relationship class would go, but you can't put the relationship class in a separate geodatabase. It has to be in the same geodatabase where the data are stored. That's why I had to navigate this far. So that's my relationship class. These labels are helpful to know what we're doing. So the forward path label is codes to polygons, and the backward path could be polygons to codes. And again, the key field that's making that relationship happen is attribute in both tables. Okay, ready to run. Now again, it looks like nothing's happened. These tables look exactly the same as before, but if we look in our catalog, you can see that this new object has been created. This is the relationship class that we just created. And if I look at the properties of this data set, now you can see that relate is there. This is coming from the relationship class instead of a temporary relate. And you can see that it also shows up in the table. There it is. So this makes a little more sense than when we used the add relate tool, because you do see that relate in both in the properties for both tables. So let's go back to that polygon that I like over here. If I select it, there it is. If I click on this little thing here and go to related data, now you can see I'm going to polygons to codes, and there's that code record, and then I can go the other way around, related data, get the related data in the polygons, and now I have multiple polygons of that same type. So now I can see immediately which polygons are all of the same type. So that's handy. So just as a quick recap, the two tools that result in just a temporary relationship are add join and add relate. When you use the join field tool, it permanently appends your specified fields to the target data set. And when you run the create relationship class tool, it creates a new object in the geodatabase and causes a permanent relationship to happen.